Welcome to Southwest Desert, where adventure meets the arid beauty of the American Southwest. Join us as we explore the rugged landscapes, uncover hidden historical gems, and dive deep into the rich legends and culture of this iconic region. Subscribe now and hit the bell icon so you don't miss out on our latest desert adventures. Please leave a like or comment. This is very helpful. Let's journey together into the heart of the Southwest Desert. Picture this. It's 1826, and a young American explorer stands at the edge of the Great Salt Lake, staring into vast, unknown wilderness. In his saddlebags, he carries a map showing a magnificent river system called the Buena Ventura, a waterway that supposedly flows like a great tree from the mountains of Utah all the way to San Francisco Bay. This river could revolutionize the fur trade, make him rich beyond imagination, and secure America's claim to the Pacific coast. There's just one problem: the river doesn't exist. But Jedediah Smith doesn't know that yet, and his quest to find this phantom waterway will make him the first American to cross the Sierra Nevada, the first to reach California by land, and the architect of one of the most important trade routes in American history. Jedediah Strong Smith was unlike any mountain man who had ever ventured into the wilderness. Born in 1799 near Binghamton, New York, he was one of 14 children in a pioneer family. But while his contemporaries learned to shoot and trap, young Jedediah bent over books, mastering reading, writing, and arithmetic, skills that would prove invaluable in the trackless wilderness ahead. At 13, he found work as a clerk on a British fur trading vessel on the Great Lakes. There, surrounded by grizzled Canadian trappers spinning tales of uncharted rivers and untapped beaver streams, Smith caught the fever that would drive him for life, the irresistible urge to see what lay beyond the next mountain range. When word reached him in March 1822 that General William Ashley was organizing the first major American expedition to trap beaver in the Rocky Mountains, Smith abandoned his secure position and set out for St. Louis. But when he arrived in early May, the expedition had already departed. Facing crushing disappointment, Smith accepted Ashley's offer to work as his personal clerk and transformed this setback into opportunity. St. Louis in 1822 was the fur capital of America, where French voyageurs, Spanish traders, and American frontiersmen rubbed shoulders. Smith transformed this multicultural chaos into his personal university. He learned fluent French and Spanish, cultivated friendships with experienced mountain men, and extracted every secret about the wilderness beyond the Missouri River. But Smith's true genius lay in his systematic intelligence gathering. He collected every map, atlas, and explorer's journal he could find. He studied Lewis and Clark's expeditions, memorized Zebulon Pike's notes, and absorbed Father Escalante's accounts of the mysterious Southwest. He examined Hudson's Bay Company maps and sea captains' charts of the Pacific coast. Smith possessed an almost supernatural ability to retain mental images of every map he studied. He could close his eyes and visualize intricate networks of rivers, mountains, and valleys. This photographic memory would prove his greatest asset and lead him to chase the most dangerous geographical phantom of his age. Among all the maps Smith studied, one stood out, a chart in Carey's General Atlas showing the American Southwest. The map appeared authoritative, published by respectable Philadelphia cartographers, but it was built on speculation and wishful thinking. The mapmaker had taken Father Escalante's guess that the Sevier River might flow to the Pacific and combined it with knowledge that a large river emptied into San Francisco Bay from the east. From these fragments, he invented the Buena Ventura River, a massive waterway depicted like a great tree, with its trunk on San Francisco Bay and branches reaching into Utah's mountains. To Smith, this fictitious river represented the solution to every problem plaguing American fur trade. While competitors struggled with frozen northern streams, hostile Indians, and nightmarish overland transport to St. Louis, the Buena Ventura promised year-round trapping in mild climate with easy river transportation to Pacific ports. Smith's opportunity came when Major Henry's expedition returned from the mountains with beaver pelts worth $24,000, triggering a stampede. By March 1823, General Ashley headed for the mountains with 100 young trappers, including Smith. These men were a special breed, tough frontiersmen who could survive conditions that would kill most civilized men. Ashley selected 5 as captains: Jim Bridger, Tom Fitzpatrick, David Jackson, William Sublette, and Jedediah Smith. But Smith stood apart. While they were natural leaders and skilled trappers, Smith brought something unique: a scholar's mind in a mountain man's body. For 3 years he led his band throughout the northern Rockies, returning each summer with profitable beaver loads. By 1826, Ashley had grown wealthy enough to sell his business to Smith and his partners, but Smith knew this success wouldn't last. The best streams were trapped out, and the Hudson's Bay Company was expanding aggressively with superior logistics and year-round operations. Smith looked at his mental map of the Southwest and saw salvation. The mythical Buena Ventura River could transform their struggling partnership into a commercial empire. All they needed was someone brave enough, or foolish enough, to venture into the unknown Southwest and find it. On August 22, 1826, Smith set out from Great Salt Lake with 15 men and 50 horses, half loaded with supplies. His mission was simple in concept but terrifying in execution: find the Buena Ventura River and establish a trade route to the Pacific. Smith led his party south through Utah, following ancient Indian trails through stunning but deadly landscape. He skirted Utah Lake, crossed the Sevier River, which he optimistically named the Ashley River, and pushed deeper into the unknown. The route took them through Clear Creek Canyon, across the Beaver River, and into southern Utah's rugged terrain. Smith carefully noted every landmark, water source, and potential danger, unknowingly writing the first reliable map of what would become the western half of the Old Spanish Trail. As they pushed southward, the landscape grew increasingly hostile. They crossed northwestern Arizona through the Virgin River's rugged canyon, traveling for days in the streambed itself. Finally, they reached the Colorado River near present-day Needles, California, where they encountered the friendly Mojave Indians. The Mojaves lived in fertile riverbank villages, growing corn, beans, pumpkins, and melons. They provided Smith with crucial information about the route to California and supplied guides for the treacherous desert crossing ahead. But the worst was yet to come. Smith's laconic journal entry captures the horror. "I traveled a west course 15 days over a country of complete barrens, generally traveling from morning until night without water." This was the Mojave Desert, one of Earth's most unforgiving landscapes. The party staggered across endless sand dunes and salt flats, their horses dying one by one from thirst and exhaustion. By the time they reached California Missions, Smith had only 18 horses left. The rest had died or been eaten by desperate men. On November 27, 1826, Jedediah Smith and his surviving companions stumbled into San Gabriel Mission, becoming the first Americans to reach California by overland route. It was a historic moment that would help set the stage for California's eventual American annexation. But Mexican authorities saw the American party as a potential threat. Governor José María de Echeandia had Smith imprisoned in San Diego for weeks. Only intervention by American sea captains finally secured Smith's release. Free at last, Smith continued searching for the elusive Buena Ventura River. He led his party north through the San Joaquin Valley, trapping streams and searching for the Great Waterway. But as weeks turned to months, the terrible truth became clear: the river didn't exist. Faced with this crushing disappointment, Smith made a decision that would cement his place in exploration history. He would cross the Sierra Nevada mountains, a barrier many believed impossible to traverse, and return to his partners as promised. Realizing the extreme danger, Smith refused to risk his entire party. He established a camp on the Stanislaus River and selected only 2 men to accompany him. On May 20th, 1827, they set out with 5 horses and 2 mules, carrying minimal supplies and no navigational instruments. For 20 days, Smith and his companions battled across the Sierra Nevada, often through snowdrifts 8 feet deep. They had no trails, no guides, no maps. Smith navigated by dead reckoning, his phenomenal memory serving as their only guide. As they pushed deeper into the mountains, their animals began dying. By the time they reached the eastern slopes, they had been forced to eat most of their horses to survive. Then they faced the final challenge, crossing the vast Great Basin Desert, an endless expanse of alkali flats and scorching sand that had never been successfully traversed. Against all odds, they made it. After 20 days of unimaginable hardship, Smith and his 2 companions emerged at the southern tip of Great Salt Lake, exactly where Smith had planned. They had accomplished what many thought impossible, crossing the Sierra Nevada from west to east and surviving the Great Basin crossing. Smith's return to the summer rendezvous was met with amazement. His partners had given him up for dead, and his dramatic reappearance with tales of California sparked excitement throughout the fur trade community. But Smith wasn't finished. Just 1 month later, he set out again for California with 18 men. He had learned from his previous journey and discovered a crucial way station, the Santa Clara Valley, where the Shivwits Indians grew crops and exhausted travelers could rest. This second expedition would end in tragedy. When Smith returned to the Mojave villages, he found that the Indians' attitude had changed dramatically. Unknown to him, another party of American trappers had recently fought a bloody battle with the Mojaves, killing 16 warriors and creating bitter enemies. The Mojaves appeared friendly at first, but as Smith's party crossed the Colorado River on a makeshift raft, the Indians attacked. 10 of Smith's men were killed in the ambush, and Smith and his 8 survivors fled into the desert with only their rifles and 15 pounds of dried meat. The crossing to California that had taken 15 days on horseback now took 9.5 days on foot. Most of it traveled under cover of darkness to avoid Indian pursuit. Once again, Smith had achieved the impossible through sheer determination and unparalleled wilderness knowledge. Although Jedediah Smith never found the mythical Buena Ventura River, his explorations had profound impact on American history. His routes through Utah, Nevada, and California became the foundation for the western half of the Old Spanish Trail, one of the most important trade routes in the American West. Join my Patreon community and discover my art print products on my website in the links provided in my description and link above. Also, if you would like a particular image from my videos, give the timestamp for image and I will upload it to my website and Patreon. Thank you for joining your desert frontiersman Alan for another Southwest Gold story. Check out my large catalog of Southwest videos and playlists on historical tales, legends, lost gold stories, and adult bedtime stories. If you like a certain image from my videos, tell me in comments and give timestamp. Happy trails! Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more great content. Hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. See you in the next video.